Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. We have our experts today, Kunal Bothra as well as Rajesh Agarwal. And let's get going with our queries for the day. And this one is from Khijar Patel, and he wants, Patel, and he wants views on Tata Motors. Rajesh, I'll come to you on Tata Motors. What a rally this particular counter has seen, over 50% up from the recent lows. Do you think that fundamentally, even if someone wants to enter right now, makes sense for Tata Motors? No doubt, it has actually risen quite a lot from the lows that it has hit. It had hit recently due to concerns of semiconductor issue and the production as well. So, what's your view on Tata Motors?
We were positively surprised by the kind of rally which Tata Motors have shown in the recent past, and we believe that this upside is going to continue for some more time. But somebody entering at this point of time would be a bit risky, because anytime the correction might creep in or the stock may go into consolidation, it's better to look at stocks like Maruti or a Bajaj Auto, which is in better place than Tata Motors. No doubt Tata Motors are coming out with new launches, but still I would prefer Maruti or a Bajaj Auto.
A question coming in from Mr. T. Murthy from Secunderabad. He's asking about Power Grid Corporation. Kunal, this is a stock that has been in focus of late, but I think he's bought at significantly elevated levels. He must have bought a while back, bought at levels of 249, and he's got bonus also in that. He's holding quite a few shares. He's asking, should he hold or sell at these levels?
I think if you adjust with the bonus price, then I believe that the cost price could be a bit lower than the initial price of 249 for Power Grid. But nevertheless, I think the sector overall is looking quite strong. You've seen so many of the power stocks doing exceptionally well, whether it's the private stocks like Tata Power, etc. Even Torrent Power looking very strong, as well as the PSU names like NTPC and Power Grid also trying to go into a recovery phase. So I think on that aspect, I would suggest a hold on Power Grid, and I think if you can stay put for say another couple of years, then I believe possibly from current levels you could look at the stock coming back towards 240, 250 levels as well.
All right, the next query is from Soumitra, and this is on something that we just discussed in the BNS and Lens segment. Nevertheless, we'll take this one from Soumitra. He wants a view on BSE with the NSE IPO coming soon and the kind of valuation that it would demand. Does it make sense to add BSE to the portfolio, at least till NSE listing? If yes, at what level should the addition be considered? What's your take, Rajesh? Keeping in mind NSE IPO, which may come sooner or later, should Soumitra look to add BSE to his portfolio?
Of course, I would suggest a buy on this stock because we are very bullish on valuation parameters, and as you said, that NSE IPO would be a very big trigger for the stock because there is a huge valuation gap between both of them. If you look at the numbers, market cap is around 6,000 odd crores, out of which they hold CDSL to the tune of 3,000 odd crores. It's a debt-free company. They have a stake in Star mutual fund platform, the international exchange, and corporate governance is very good. I would say there may be some correction. It may move down to 1,200 odd rupees if there is a correction. But then if somebody is looking for a long-term horizon, I think these kind of corrections are an opportunity to add to dips. One should definitely buy this stock.
We've got a question coming in from Kiran, and this is on HUL. I'm coming to you on this one, Kunal, because it's a question for the next 6 to 12 months. Kiran is defining this as long-term, but my personal definition of long-term is significantly more than 12 months. He's wondering whether he can buy at this juncture for a 20 to 30% rate of return. Should he do that?
Well, I would agree with you, Alex, that if you're looking at it from a longer-term perspective, then you'll have to hold it for a substantial period of time. And plus, add to that, HUL is not a high beta stock which can tend to give you those swift, fast, and quick upswings on a very short span of time. So if you're in for the next couple of years, at least, I think then you can probably expect a good appreciation for HUL from current levels. But I think even though if you're if you have a time horizon of 6 months to 1 year, then I believe buying HUL at current levels of 2600, 2640 could probably turn out to be a decent trade as well, because the stock has retraced back towards its 200 moving average from 2850 levels. It's corrected to 100 rupees. So I think in that sense, it's a good level to enter, but depends on your time frame. If you can extend it for a couple of years, then you can expect the kind of returns which you're anticipating for HUL.
All right, this one is coming from Kaustubh, wants to know but support levels for TCS at which we can plan to add as it is part of the portfolio already. Kunal, we did speak about TCS at length yesterday, but Kaustubh wants to know now what are the support levels for TCS at which he can look to add some more.
The major support levels for TCS on the short-term charts would be closer to 3450 levels. I think that's a good support. That's where the initial part of the rally started off in the second week of August, where stock broke out of the 3400, 3450 mark, and from there it scaled up more than 500 points from those levels. So as a mean retracement, the stock would probably have a tendency to try and come back towards that breakout point and then sort of bounce back again. So I believe if you're looking to buy TCS, I would suggest 2450 would turn out to be a much better entry point rather than at current levels.
Wait, Kunal, this is on City Union Bank, and in fact, Raghu points out that, or rather, he's thanking you for the advice that he gave that you gave on ONGC. You asked him to average, and he benefited from that. But let's talk about City Union Bank. He's holding 722 shares at a level of 197. He's wondering whether to hold on to this. Should he?
Definitely look to average it out. I'm very bullish on City Union Bank, Alex, and I think the last 3 days or 4 days I've been trying to recommend the stock as many times as I can. I think it's looking strong for a breakout. It's confirmed a breakout above its 200 moving average. Volumes have improved. Momentum is back into City Union Bank. And I think if the chart patterns play out the way I'm anticipating, then the stock can even come back towards 185, 190 levels as well over the next 1 to 2 months. So I would definitely suggest an average at current levels.
Okay, let's pick up another query. We've got several queries coming in. We've got a question on Borosil Renewable. And again, Rajesh, this is not a stock that we speak about very often. But having said that, the space is quite interesting. We've got Harshit who's asking. He's asking whether to buy at this level, or rather, he's holding at this point. I do not know his exact acquisition price. He's asking if we should add more.
Adding more at this point of time, what we recommended, whatever you are holding, continue with that. But yes, if there is a 10% cut from the current market price, one can go ahead and add. The renewals are in the in thing with a lot of new stories coming in. I think in the longer term horizon, maybe a 20% upside from the current market price is quite possible. But a fresh entry would not be recommended at this point of time.
Kunal, along with the entire chemicals and fertilizers pack, I think it has been a stock to watch out for. We've got Nipun from Chandigarh, who's trying to build a portfolio, I think, of chemical stocks. He's wondering whether to add Deepak Nitrite. He's also wondering whether to consider this as opposed to Tata Chem, or should you consider both?
I would suggest that you should consider both, but then I think a much better level to enter would be at least a 10% correction from current levels for Deepak Nitrite. I would wait for maybe a level of 2600 or 2550 to the viewer to try and begin investing into the stock. It's at elevated levels. Indicators are extremely overbought for Deepak Nitrite, and I would probably wait for a correction of at least 10%. Tata Chemicals could probably turn out to be a better trade. I've been very bullish on the stock right from the time when it was at 725, 730 as well, just about a quarter or so back. It's come back, completed its retracement, moved up higher, changed its behavior. So I think Tata Chemicals could turn out to be a better bet even at current levels. But Deepak Nitrite, I would suggest an entry 10% lower from current levels at least.
We've got Puneet who's asking about BHEL. And he's wondering what he should keep as a target. He's bought at levels of 67.9. He's got as many as 500 shares, Rajesh. Should he hold on to this, and what should be the target?
See, if time is not a concern, I think one should carry on with the stocks. Maybe 85, 90 odd rupees in the next 1 year is quite possible. It's a very big play on power, and with the kind of thrust we are going to witness in the coming days in power due to different kind of reasons like coal shortage and all, I think this company is going to do well. Carry on with your investment, and anybody seeking to add to this stock, 65 would be a very good level.
We've got Ambarish who's asking about Vodafone Idea. He's bought a significant quantity, Kunal, but at relatively elevated levels, 15,000 at levels of 13.2. Should he hold with the hope of appreciation?
Well, I would suggest the hold on Vodafone Idea may not be an ad at current levels, but looking at the last month's price performance and a robust move of more than 50% plus in terms of gains from the 7.5 odd levels to 11.5, which it tested a few weeks back. I think it seems to be a stock which is going into a bit of a mend. I would suggest a hold on Vodafone Idea, and then let's see how the story as well as the events evolve into the stock price. If it's in favor of what the prices have shown the last 1 month, then possibly the stock can come back towards your cost price and even beyond that as well.
BPCL is the counter, and this is obviously one of the prime candidates for divestment. Things seem to be moving along those lines, and I think quite a few investors, quite a few potential investors looking very carefully at it now, considering the moves that you've seen in Air India. We've got Vinod, who's bought at levels of 473. Stock is currently at 452. Should he hold on to his investment?
Of course, not only hold on, if somebody is looking to buy, it's a very good buy, I think. Once Air India has been done, there are hopes that further divestments can be carried out. And this was one of the prime candidates for divestment from last 1.5 years or maybe 2 years. They have 3 refineries, 6,000 odd gas stations. They have a whole lot of petrol, 6,000 odd gas stations and a whole lot of petrol bunkers. I think the valuations are extremely cheap. Once something of that sort is announced, I won't be surprised if it costs 600 odd rupees in the very short term. And not to forget the kind of dividend they dole out every year. So yes, of course, it's a buy. There may be some prices because of crude prices, but that should be taken as an opportunity to add.
We've got a question coming in from Sunny, and he's looking at Sham Metallics. He's pointing out that it's trading not too far away from its listing price, and he's wondering whether to consider buying into this one. I don't think he has a long-term view on this one, though. Kunal, do you think that he should consider doing that?
I think you should look to avoid or maybe not add at current levels, and if possible, you get a short-term rally into the stock price. I think it's better to try and get out of the stock and look to exit and get back into good quality names. I think the chart patterns, even though if it's a very short-term listing, has been on the slightly sluggish side. So no signs of major trend picking up for Sham Metallics. I would suggest an avoid or an exit.
A stock that is in focus today, Radico Khaitan, one of the stocks that is being asked about by Thomas V. George. He's asking also about Globus Spirits and United Spirits. Which one would you prefer for the long term? This is a stock, Radico Khaitan, Rajesh, that has gained significantly over the past couple of sessions, I believe, on account of the launch of a couple of luxury brands. Would you suggest that this is an interesting counter to consider?
Yes, of course, they have been doing very well on volume front in new launches. Even the existing brands have been doing well. They are large players in IMFL, and with festive season going on, I think it can cross 1,250 odd rupees in the very short term. It has run up quite a lot in recent past, but the management focus on reducing the debt quarter on quarter is a very big positive for this company. I think definitely any dip should be taken as an opportunity to add, and somebody holding can continue to hold.
Kunal, do you have a view on Car Trade Tech? It's currently trading at 1,391. We've got Manohar, who's gotten at 1,225. He's asking for a stop loss.
If you're looking for a stop loss, even though it's a very short-term oriented trade, so may not be able to comment on the longer-term prospects. But from a short-term view, the breakout which had happened for Car Trade, just about I think it's on 6th of October, the low of that, which is around 1341, that could be a good stop loss, because the tendency is that those breakout candles and the low of those breakout candles, they tend to get protected even if the stock consolidates. So 1340 could be a stop loss for your trade on the stock.
It's time, gentlemen, to hit, or rather, actually, we'll take one more query, if I may. Concor is the name of the stock. We're looking at Suresh's question. He's looking at a short-term trade. He's gotten at levels of 666, which is an interesting number. Kunal, what should he do with this?
Well, I think you should look to book out over here. The stock is looking quite sluggish in terms of momentum. No major signs of trend picking up for Concor. So I would sense it's a good time to try and book out profits over here and wait for at least another 7 to 8% correction closer to 625, 630 is where you can look to re-enter again.
All right, and with that, it's time for the rapid fire. Both of our experts know how to go about it. So let me get going with the first one. And this one is coming from Abhay. He's saying, I'm holding 2,208 stocks of IRFC, which is purchased at 25.4. What should I do? Rajesh, what's your take on IRFC?
When continuing with the stock, it's a very sluggish kind of stock. It's better to move to better names. Even in the railway, you have IRCTC, which is the better name.
Okay, Rajesh, would you pick Piramal Enterprises right now? Romil is asking.
Of course, with the kind of emerging stories, I think this stock can give good returns in the very short term. One can buy this stock.
Okay, this is from Venkateshwaran. SRF bought at the levels of 150 rupees per share several years ago. What should I do? Should I hold or sell? What's your take, Kunal? SRF is the stock.
If you're not in any kind of need of money, then you should definitely hold the stock. From 150 has become 10,500. So I don't sense any kind of a stop loss.
Okay, coming back to you, Kunal, on Tata Elxsi, I think we've spoken about it in the recent past. But we've got Dashrath who's asking for a target price if you enter at current levels.
I think it depends on your time horizon. If it's a very longer term time horizon, then I would probably suggest holding on to the stock and riding on to the trend. Short term wise, very difficult to give you a target price because of the correction in the IT names.
Okay, Dikshita wants to know that can Hindustan Copper be averaged at current levels? What's your take, Kunal?
I would suggest an average at current levels. The stock looks attractive. Come back towards its 200 moving average. A good point to average.
Rajesh, I'm putting you on the spot, but I'm going to read out a few names. Can you give any two that stand out to you? The stocks are Indian Hotels, VIP, Vedanta, NMDC and Dixon. Which of these two would fit in a portfolio?
Indian Hotels and NMDC both are looking good at valuation. I don't know, prices are up, unlock is going on, tourist movement are high. So I think these two stocks should be taken in the portfolio.
All right, and I believe with that we've come to the end of the rapid fire. Thank you, Kunal, as well as Rajesh, for joining us on the show, giving us your take on the exchanges as well as resolving viewer query. And on that note, we will slip into a break on this edition of Buy Now, Sell Now. But stay tuned, more on the other side, so don't go anywhere.
This is Shanky Sharma. Picking the perfect profile pick is tough for him. But picking stocks on Upstocks, easy. With smart features on Upstocks, get all stock related info easily on your phone. Upstocks, start karke dekho.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है, पर